Let's start off with an unpopular opinion. Just because you have the option to voice your opinion on social media doesn't mean you should. I have anxiety. I have for as long as I can remember, and the constant dependency of my generation on social media hasn't made it any easier. The fact that I can go online and see the thoughts and feelings of people all around the world dating back to 2006 on Twitter is terrifying. But I participate. I have to. Social media is no longer optional for the average teenager. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, in partnership with the Pew Research Center, 71% of teenagers are active on more than one social media site. As a member myself of Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and occasionally Tumblr, I'm terrified that I'll make a mistake and potentially ruin my life forever. With the internet, the stakes are high, and they're constantly getting higher. From a young age, we're taught that technology is permanent, but as we get older and as it becomes more and more central to society, that becomes difficult to believe. Social media is more than just a place to watch cooking videos and post cute pictures. It's a source of news, social gratification, validation, and entertainment. But as the years have gone on, the negatives have begun to outweigh the positives. What used to be a place to spread your ideas and make your voice heard has become a hotbed for negativity to be spread. The worst thing to come out of this new era of social media is cancel culture. Cancel culture comes from the idea that when you're online and you call someone out for their mistakes, you are canceling them. The culture part just goes to show that this term has had such staying power over the past few years that it's become an inherent part of the online community. Someone's always being canceled by someone. Sometimes it lasts, sometimes it doesn't. But very few have stopped to ask the question, what is this actually doing to our society? How is it affecting our empathy? To really get a good look into this topic, we have to look at where it started, who's been affected by it, and what has fed it to the point that it's become a culture at all. A reasonable place to start would be the 1940s. Many Americans were terrified because the Red Scare had sparked fear in their hearts that Russians were right under their noses. Some, following the lead of Senator Joseph McCarthy, began to blacklist activists, artists, and people who generally subverted the culture of the day. Among these were Arthur Miller, the famed playwright, actor and director Charlie Chaplin, and civil rights advocate W.E.B. Du Bois. The main vehicle of cancellation is generally social media, with Twitter being seen as the court of public opinion where people are tried and sentenced in hashtags on the daily. Among those who have been canceled in the 20th and early 21st century include, but are definitely not limited to, Yoko Ono, the Dixie Chicks, Bill Gates, Michael Jackson, Kanye West, Taylor Swift, nearly every member of the online beauty community, Justin Bieber, Kanye West again, Chris Pratt, J.K. Rowling, Cardi B, Camila Cabello, and recently, nearly every member of the British royal family. In many of these cases, the event in question happened years before the actual internet backlash. This has put the entire internet into the mindset that, contrary to what every motivational poster you've ever seen says, you can never change. You are defined by your mistakes. It will never get better. This is toxic, of course, and it's one of the main issues with cancel culture, but it's not the only one. To cancel someone is inherently permanent. It's something impermanent. It's something that you wait out and log off and just take a step back from. But on the internet, everything is supposed to be permanent, right? If something is so important that it causes you to cancel someone, why is it that the actual real-life consequences are so few and far between? This is an unknown, a thought experiment that didn't exist in its current form 50 or even 10 years ago. This is probably why so many people in power have brushed cancel culture aside, saying that it's not relevant, or sometimes that it doesn't exist at all, and that it's a figment of the imagination of the youths. Some people also say that it's not important. This mindset is frankly irresponsible, and just goes to show the empathy level of our society today. People think that because they're online, they can say or do whatever they want without any ramifications in their real life. And unfortunately, this is generally true, but it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be able to say whatever you want online without any ramifications. You can cite the Constitution however many times you want, but there will never be a reason to be hateful to someone else online, no matter who they are or what they have done. Cancel culture takes the mob mentality that someone has done something wrong and deserves to be punished, and combines it with the overall mindset that a cloud of negativity should surround one person for the rest of their lives. This is what should be canceled. How can we ever expect people to get up and try again and try to contribute to our society if we knock them down in the first place? The very idea of being canceled on the internet is terrifying. The fact that people all around the world could see the speech that I am giving right now and could, on a whim, make a mean comment or undermine my entire approach without research or context was enough for me to consider not even doing this today. But here I am, here out in front of my friends, teachers, parents, colleges, future employers, the entire world, because I have something to say. And the sad part is that I have a performance background. I generally do better in front of 100 people than I do one. Some people with bright minds and great ideas that could help our society, aren't as lucky. The very notion that people would discourage them or make fun of their idea is enough to make them stay silent. How can we ever grow as a society? How can we ever hear all of the ideas that would allow us to change if people are afraid to speak because of the online community that we have created? Our culture is on the brink of a social issue, and the anonymity that the online community allows is part of what is contributing to it. If individuals, people like you and me, don't take ownership of what they say online and don't realize that what you say hurts just as much on a screen as it does in person, then we will never grow and we will never change. If we allow cancel culture to be a part of our culture and the mark that we leave on the world, we would be doing a disservice not only to ourselves, but to our grandchildren and their grandchildren and generations beyond. I'm 16, not old enough to drink, not old enough to vote, not even considered a legal adult. But I can see the future ramifications that our existence online could have on our society. I can see the difference in the ways that my peers treat each other online and in person, and I have seen people become less open by the day. You may think this is silly and unimportant with all of the issues that are going on in the world today, but if you look at how the internet culture is changing the youth and the other generations of the world, you'll see that this issue is something that needs to be addressed. How? Well, first of all, we need to stop canceling and start educating. There need to be less hashtags and a more open and understanding mindset all around. If we adopt a growth mindset as a society and allow people to correct their mistakes instead of just canceling them, we know no limits. Call me naive. Call me inexperienced, but I've seen the way people shut down when they are criticized, and I've seen how they open up and try to be better when they are lovingly encouraged into the right direction. Even just a kind word or an open-minded comment could help someone to realize that what they did was wrong and they need to correct it. We can start this by changing the way our children treat each other in person. We need to take the word punishment out of our vocabulary and get rid of the mindset that mistakes are akin to stupidity. In the field of psychology, punishment is actually generally discouraged because it doesn't allow you to correct the behavior. It only leaves the recipient to run away and retreat into a defensive position. If we raise the next generation with a mindset of reinforcement, if we reward good behavior, and if we correct bad behavior, as well as monitor our presence online, hopefully this near epidemic of social crises and negative comments and bad actions will be over soon. So the next time you see cancel-worthy content online, take a minute before you like, share, upvote, or retweet, and think kindness, empathy, and try to remember a time that you have made a mistake. By not clicking that button, you could potentially be bringing us one step closer to a safer and more welcoming version of the internet we have today. Thank you.